Hey, how's it going, everybody? Another little build update here. This one's a player versus player BG's open world Cyrodiil. It's going to work both in great. Um, yeah, let's jump into it, shall we? So we are a Templar on this build, which is a stamina Templar. We are obviously a Khajiit, standard. Most of my tunes are Khajiit by now. Um, we're rocking the Lady Mundus. We are a stage 3 vamp. I would say if you're gonna PvP and you have the option to be a vampire, I would say take it because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's not worth it." But in hindsight, in all honesty, it's still very much worth it. It's 15% of your missing health. You're taking 15% reduction, dude. Like it's still worth at stage 3. Um, I don't know what to tell you. Like it's still worth running. So yeah, we're a vampire. In terms of our attributes, I got 28 into health, 36 into stamina. We have 17.1k mag, and then we have 20,000 stam, and then we have 32k health, base stat health. If I buff up here a little bit, and then go back in, you can see our resistances on our back bar is 27,532. And if I swap our front bar, it doesn't change. So the resistances are good. Our weapon and spell damage on our back bar is 3,800. On the front, we do go up to near enough 5k. This is unbuffed as well, by the way, because we're not getting the weapon buff from our weapon. We're not getting major brutality buffs from jabs yet, any of that, right? So yeah, we're pretty stacked up in terms of just base enjoyment, right? Now, the one thing I will say is knowing that my resistance is where they're at, our penetration is a little low. But hear me out. We don't typically need a lot of penetration with this build because we have a lot of things what we're applying to people, what allows to make up for the loss of that penetration. Okay. And I'll explain that as we progress through the video. But yeah, let's continue on anyway. So in terms of gear ratio, I'm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 medium. I'm in 2 heavy. The reason why I went 2 heavy rather than 1 light is just because of the sets what I'm typically running and the way that I did it. I could have gone 1 light if I went with like a waist. Um if I went waist or a hands on the smaller piece, and then I could have done a wretched a mechanical on my legs, right? But I don't know. I kind of went this route and it works. I have zero issues with this build. It's very, very strong. It's very fun to play. So as they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So that's what we're doing. We're not fixing it. So in terms of our blue tree, I'm taking cleanse and revival. This is just cleanse whenever I heal myself if I'm below 25% health. This is very handy in Cyrodiil. It just removes all the negative effects from me. And that can occur once every 24 seconds. 24 seconds in like a tower fight or some kind of fight where you're causing line of sight comes around pretty frequently. So yeah, not bad. Focus spending. This is just 10% flat healing done percentage to help us with our healing. Okay, so me being a Khajiit, and having 12% healing, critical healing done, and then getting 10% healing done on top of that is very strong. Okay. We do a little bit different this time round. We don't go with fight and finesse. I'm not stacking into the fight and finesse this time round. with the Templar, you don't typically need the extra damage from what Fighting Finesse offers. So I just stack the weapon and spell damage instead with Braveful Strikes. Just raw stat damage is probably a little bit better for this sort of situated build. What I've built. So we went down this route instead. Fighting Finesse would work. Don't get me wrong. I just think Rayful is maybe a little bit better. I don't know. I've not really tested Fighting Finesse. So, like, maybe I'll slot Fighting Finesse at some point and just see how it goes, you know? I mean, you guys can do the same. It's up to you. But this works, and this is just, you know, like I say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Master at Arms, 6% raw damage done. Extra damage. It's nice. Sweet. Cool. Boundless Vitality. This gives us additional health. So it pushes my health up by 1400, which is just nice. Pain's Refuge. So this reduces my damage taken by 2% every 2 negative effects active on me. So it goes up to a max of 20% reduction in damage. That with the vampire, that takes my reduction to 35% just overall. I mean, it's just nice. It's just a nice chunk of damage getting applied to me. Also, on top of that, if I am under status effects, we take sustained by suffering. So whenever I am applied with this, providing that I don't cleanse myself or I don't remove it with cleanse and revival, whenever that is active, you know, we're just getting a ton of recovery while getting a ton of reduction damage. So it's really nice. And then I take Celerity. Celerity is a 10% movement speed buff. It's just nice to have. My green tree's not actually changed. It's quite terrible. I apologize. I normally do swap out. Swap out for Gifted Rider at least. You know what I mean? For that extra movement speed on the mount. So with the green tree, obviously you want Gifted Rider. Liquid efficiency is not really needed. It's just what I had. Steve's Blessing is a must. Rationer is a must. So these three in PvP are yes. I mean, normally people would go with War Mount as their fourth. In all honesty, it doesn't really fucking matter what you take as your fourth. I'm just taking liquid efficiency, so I have a chance not to consume my potion, really. But most people would normally go War Mount there instead, and they would run them for, you know. But yeah, that's what I'm running. You know, obviously you do you for the green tree. Um, In terms of our scribed ability, we are running a binding contingency. So, to get binding contingency, you would pick Ulsfid's contingency, you would take Immobilize, Gladiator's Tenacity, and Breach. Okay? So, what this is actually doing is this is immobilizing people. They're also taking magic damage, which scales well with the Templar anyway, regardless to be in Stam or Mag. You know, it just scales very well with the Templar because a lot of the abilities are magic based damage. And then it reduces your damage taken by 8% for 6 seconds, and it also causes minor breach. This is really solid. Okay. So if we bump into our skills now, so on the front bar, I have binding contingencies. So it's already offering me minor breach. Okay. This is why we have low pen, because we don't need the pen. And the reason why is because one, I'm applying minor breach. Two, we've got razor caltrops on our bar, so we're applying major breach. So I'm applying minor and major breach on these people and on our enemies, right? And whoever we're fighting. So we don't typically need a lot of penetration because we've already broken every resistant of their armor. We've destroyed their minor breaches and their major breaches. So we've knocked them right down, so they're super squishy anyway, right? So Yeah, very nice. Obviously, we got Radiant Oppression as our execute. This is our execute damage. You know, sometimes I don't use it as an execute because people clock on to you trying to beam and they'll bash you, you know. So sometimes you got to just finish them with the old jab or Dawnbreaker or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, it's all play style. People fight people for a long period of time. They start to understand how they play. You know, I know how a lot of people play in Cyrodiil. You know, I can read them very well, and I'm sure there's people what can read me pretty well. You know, it's just the name of the game. You know, it's tactics. You know, one on one. So yeah, it's just it is what it is. Resolve and vigor. This is a nice heal over 5 seconds on our tooltip. We are getting 22,000 on our tooltip over 5 seconds. Not just that, it's also increasing my minor resolve, okay, which is super nice. And as you can see here, we're also getting major resolve. So I'm getting minor and major resolve on my bars, which is super nice. So that's making me tankier again and making me more defensive, which is super nice. And then obviously our last ability after Caltrops is Dawnbreaker is Smiting. The reason why I take this is it is a stun, and it's just nice to have that stun. I'm consistently rooting people because of binding contingency, right? And the way that this is a play style, the way that it plays, you know, we're always binding them so they're stuck in place. They get to move again. I come back in and redo it. Do you know what I mean? And they're just consistently fucking rooted. It's really stupid on how rooted and annoyed people get with this build. It's actually really funny. I like it. I love it. You know, I get people to fight where I want them to fight. I don't go to them unless I know that I can destroy them, you know. For the best part, I try and lure people to me because the way that this works is like you're kind of fighting on a back pedal. You know, that's kind of the nature of this build. So super nice, super good. Catches a lot of people off guard actually. So super nice. All right, bat bar. So on our bat bar, we're running a Rastro staff, obviously. We got restore and focus. What this is doing is it's giving me major resolve, but it's also giving me stamina and health over a period of duration. Okay. So it's super handy. It's good for sustain. It's great. Live in dark. What this does is this puts an envelope over you. I pressed the wrong button. So yeah, live in dark does this. Puts this little envelope above you. All that does is whenever anyone attacks you, okay, the sphere lashes back at the attacker, reducing their movement speed by 40%. So every now and again, like if I'm up in the tower, say I'm running around the tower like this, we're going around the tower, right? And I get attacked by someone here because they've come this way, right? And there's no one that way. As soon as they attack me, they've taken that 40%. I hit this move and then I'm gone again, dude. Like I'm gone again, right? Unless they're running 3 Swift, then they're on my ass. You know what I mean? But like realistically, for the best part, I'm gone because they're taking 40% reduced movement speed. Okay, for 3 seconds. That's a 3 second gap, dude. That's huge, right? But we don't use it typically for that. We use it typically mainly just for the extra heals, what we get from it. Okay, it's just nice to have. Standard ritual. This is a bread and butter ability for our build. It's a cleanse. It helps our group and allies around. Anyone can cleanse this circle from the synergy. You know, and it's just a nice steady pace of heals will come in every couple of seconds. You know, that with all our other heals, plus if we were getting attacked, yeah, you can kind of see where we're going with this, you know, in terms of heal ticks. Okay. We get a lot of healing. Obviously, our main burst heal. This is Breath of Life. Yeah, so we're doing about 13.7. So it's about an 8k, just under in Cyrodiil, something like that. So it's pretty solid, pretty nice. And then Race Against Time. The other good thing about Honor the Dead, and the reason why I use it, is because obviously we have quite a lot of mag abilities. So this is mag, this is mag, this is mag. Our beam is Mage. Okay. And this is mag. Okay. So we've got quite a few magical abilities. So we've got one, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 magical abilities on our bar. 5 actually, because of Race Against Time. So we got 5 mag abilities because of Race Against Time, right? So what makes Honor the Dead really, really, really viable for this build is if I am below 75% health, I will hit this every once in a while. Even if I don't typically need the burst heal, I'm still going to hit it. And the reason why is because it gives you 18% of the abilities cost every 2 seconds for the next 6 seconds. Do you know how much recovery that is? Do you know how much sustain that is for Magicka? It allows you to be so more offensive or defensive, providing your situation, because you're getting them ticks back. It's super nice to have. So yeah, definitely recommend running Honor the Dead as a Magplow or a Stamplow in PvP. Race Against Time. So what this does is it gives me Major Expedition for 4 seconds, and it gives me Minor Force for 20 seconds. So we're getting Major Brutality, we're getting Minor Breach, Major Breach, and now Minor Force. So we're doing a lot. We're getting a lot of buffs to help us. So if you don't know what Minor Force is, that is critical damage done. Okay? Hence why I don't really typically need the Fighting Finesse, because I'm getting this already, right? So I kind of went this route instead. And then our last ability is Light's Champion. This is our bread and butter heal. If we need to heal, we need to be very, very defensive. This is like, oh shit, I'm going to pop this. The good thing with this is I can go very offensive with this at the same time. So like if I show you guys now, so like say we're fighting, I'm running around the tower, whatnot, boom, there's like 5 people on me, I get stunned, I break out, get up, say I'm like half health, and I'm like, oh shit, I really need to heal, I'll pop my envelope, I'll pop one of these, and then I'll pop this. The thing is with this, I can then switch on my front bar and go very offensive again, and try and kill these guys very, 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 very quickly, right? And catch them off guard. That's why I like running the restoration staff thing. Plus, with this one, we are also getting major force. So we're getting major force, right, which is critical damage by 20%. And then we're also getting minor force as well. So that's super, super, super strong. So we're getting both minors as well, minor and major, once again. So yeah, it makes this build really, really just a jugger house of just pure raw damage, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, sets we're using is bow log. So obviously you got the 2-piece bow log. So what that does when in turn, if we use our ultimate ability, we are going to get a ton, and I mean a ton, of spell weapon spell damage. Okay, and we also get penetration. Hence why I said we don't really need to clock into the penetration as much, because we're getting it from our bow logs, okay? Which is really, really solid. Galleon chain, obviously, it gives you that additional health. Just super nice to have. Mechanical acuity is our bread and butter on our front bar. What this does is it applies whenever we deal non-critical damage, we gain a stack of mechanical acuity for 4 seconds, granting us 20% critical strike chance. And it stacks up to 5 times. So it makes us really, really, really strong. As you can see, it just proc there. And as you can see, you know, we're under that influence now of mechanical acuity. Okay. Very, very strong. It pretty much procs consistently. Yeah, there you go again. It procs straight again. It's kind of dumbfounded on how much it procs on me. On this build, it's kind of good. It's nice. And then our other set on our back bar is Retro Vitality. Reason why I take Retro Vitality, it is just simply for the fact that it is very good sustain. It's probably one of the best sustain sets in the game right now, and it's just worth running. You know, a lot of people run it, you know, so it is what it is. It's just super nice. And then we take a Death Dealer Feety. The reason why I take Death Dealer Feety is because then I can stack my health and my mag and my stam up way more. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sit here until we get 30 stacks. To be fair, we're getting all these buffs. This is probably not the best idea, but you kind of get the adjust. As you can see, look, my health is going way up. All of these buffs, none of these give me extra health. They do. It gives me health by 10%. Motherfucker. All right. I got a better idea. Let me leave. Let me leave his base. We'll come back in. And then I will do it on a different... I'll do it on the Thrall, because the Thrall don't give me anything, I'm pretty sure. We'll get rid of all them buffs. We don't want them buffs because it's not going to be accurate. And I want to be as accurate as possible. So I do apologize for that. But let's go back in. And let's just go and hit this guy. Because this guy won't give me absolutely anything. So we're going to sit here until we get 30 stacks. Okay. What we're actually queuing up here is escalating feety. You know, we're making sure that we're getting up to 30 stacks. We're at 10 stacks currently. You know, we're just gonna keep going until we get to 30. So you can see where I'm roughly sat with health and whatever else. This is gonna be also minor scrolls in Cyrodiil. Like if you're gonna go into Cyrodiil and campaigns and stuff, like bear in mind that this is gonna be minor to the scrolls if you have scrolls. So take that into consideration too. It's a very, very, very juiced up build what we're running right now. Okay, we're at 30 stacks. So let me just pop a pop. As you can see, at 30 stacks, I'm at 5,100. Right, we go to 54. Right, 59. So we're at 5,900 weapon and spell damage. Okay, I'm applying minor breach, major brutality. I've got, you know, minor force and major force on my back bar ultimate. Okay, super juiced up, right? To be at that kind of level, like it's just crazy. That also being said, we're at 35,000 health. We're at just under 20k mag, and we're at 23k stam. Okay, bear in mind if a warden hits me, I go to about 40k health, give or take, right? I'm pretty sure in Cyrodiil I go to about 37k health. This Templar build is juiced through the roof. Like it is, it's just juiced through the roof. I hope you guys enjoy that. In terms of our traits, we are reinforced on the helmet. I've got reinforced on my chest. We got reinforced on our legs. Um, and then we're running divines on our shoulder piece. And then I have impen on my hands, waist, boots. And then in terms of my jury, we've got 2 infused, and then I've got 1 bloodthirsty. In terms of my main hand weapons, which is the dual wield, I have a mace on nunhoned, and I have a sword on sharpened. Okay. And then in terms of our bat bar, which is our healing staff, I take a powered, which increases my healing done by 9%. So it makes my heals from this and from anything else heal me for more. Um, it's just nice to have. So yeah, I hope you enjoy that build. We are running Jules and Misrule for our food. If you wanted to know what food I was rocking, you can run smoked bear haunch too. It's kind of like the go-to foods, what most people use in Cyrodiil nowadays. I mean, I definitely just bounce between them two. If I can afford smoked bear haunch, I will take it. If I can't, Jules and Misrule will serve me just fine. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this build. Have a good one. Take care. See you all in the next one. Peace.